Hi, and welcome to my channel. So today I'm here to tell you about the best book I think that I have read since I started my BookTube channel. Now I started my BookTube channel in July and I have had a few 5-star reads. Actually, I can think of only one off the top of my head, which would be Children of Blood and Bone. But I have had another 5-star read and it has been it's been about a week since I finished it, and I still cannot stop thinking about it, and I just thought that I should hop on here and tell you all about it. I haven't heard anybody talking about this book yet on BookTube. It came out in August of 2018, so just a few months ago, and I'm not saying that no one has spoken about it, it's just that no one that I typically watch I don't think has talked about this book. And this is Rust and Stardust by T. Greenwood. Now, I had no idea what this book was about. I was scrolling my audiobooks because I had a few on hold and I was waiting for those to be released into my library, and I was looking for one to get me through until one of them were released. And I went to my popular book section and I started scrolling down, and this one had almost a perfect 5 stars, and so that immediately captured my attention, and then I clicked on it, read the synopsis, and was sold. And I just happened to find it on a whim, which I think sometimes is sometimes the best way to find a book. This is a fictional retelling of an actual crime that took place in 1948. In 1948, an 11-year girl named Sally Horner was kidnapped by a 52-year-old man named Frank LaSalle. And Frank LaSalle was recently released from prison, happened to be in the area, saw her steal something from the local store, and then caught her, told her that he was an FBI agent, and manipulated her into leaving town with him. The craziness about all of this is that it didn't even happen immediately. He let her go that night. She went home scared, saying that he was going to check in with her the next day. He was doing her this huge favor by not taking her to the courts immediately, but don't tell anybody because we don't want anyone to know that you're a bad girl. So she had no idea what to do. She went home, she freaked out, didn't tell anybody, silently freaked out, and went to school the next day. And sure enough, on her way home from school, he found her, said that he spoke to the judge, and the judge said that he needs to bring her in. And so she was told to go pack a bag, and he was going to take her to Atlantic City to meet the judge. But he told her that she was not allowed to tell anybody about this because he didn't want her mama to think that she was a naughty girl. And they would have this whole thing cleared up within a week and she would be back. So she thought that she could help her mom by not telling her mom, prevent her from being in even more pain. And so she didn't. She didn't tell her mom, and she told her that she was going to the shore with some friends. And so she went, she packed her bag, and her mom actually walked her to the bus station where she met her friend's father. He was very charming, very sweet. Mom was completely smitten with him, and mom sends her child off with Frank LaSalle, a man who was released from prison for sexually assaulting multiple young girls. And then the story proceeds from there. What truly made this book one of the best books that I've ever read is that it was written in multiple perspectives, and so we not only saw how this kidnapping was affecting Sally, but we saw how it affected her mom, her brother-in-law, her friends at school, her sister. We were in the head of some of the people she met while she was kidnapped, so some of her teachers she met, because he enrolled her in school. They were in multiple states, and he moved her across the country, and they finally ended up in California. And when they were in different states, for example, when they were in Baltimore, and he sent her to school. She went to a local Catholic school, and so the writer, T. Greenwood, put us in the perspective of one of the teachers. Now, again, this is a fictional retelling, so she used the dates and some of the same people, and the time frame was the same, but she made up some of the other people. Sister Mary Catherine was not a real person in Sally Horner's life. However, she created this teacher as like another dialogue to have within this, like a person who was seeing her come in like a haunted girl, like a girl who's had no light in her eyes, and you could clearly see that something was going wrong. And that's what really got me as a teacher, like when I was listening to Sister Mary Catherine, and she is noting that, you know, this girl doesn't even want to go outside to play, that this girl barely ever talks, that this girl has no light in her eyes, that she has no curiosity, no love for really anything right now. And Sister Mary Catherine has like the idea that something may be going on, but like doesn't really do anything. And that to me is just, he had her for about 2 years. There were so many opportunities for someone to help her. And for her to help herself too, like all she had to do was tell one person. But she was so afraid, which I understand, like she was so afraid that she couldn't. And the few times that she was going to, something happened that prevented her from doing it. And again, it's a fictional retelling, so those events might not have actually happened. But T. Greenwood did do some research. For example, when they were staying in Dallas, they were at a trailer park, and the circus was coming to town, and it was within like the same area that the circus people stayed at. So she had Sally meet some of the circus performers. Now, if Sally actually ever did meet some of the circus performers, we don't know, but it did follow the same timeline. Like she could have met somebody from the circus because they were staying in like the same exact area. T. Greenwood had them stay at the same trailer park. I thought that was really neat that she was able to tie in some actual things that happened during that time frame with her story. But my heart just like went out to Sally and Sally's mom and Sally's sister. I cried so many times while listening to this book. Like, for example, one time I was coming home from work and I pull in the driveway and my boyfriend's standing right there, and he comes over, he knocks on the window, and I go like this, and he looks confused, but I'm just like listening, and then he goes around to the other side and he knocks on the window again. I go like this, and I roll down the window and I'm like, stop talking, because I wanted to listen, like, and I just had tears streaming down my face, and he's like, what is wrong? And I was like, my book, you need to stop talking, I need to listen to this. And I was so engrossed in what was happening, and I needed to know that she was safe and that things would work out in the end. I needed to know that, so I just wanted to power through it, and it was so hard to listen to, but it was so good. The writing was fantastic. I don't have any quotes to give you because I listened to it on audio and I didn't like write anything down as I was driving, but the writing was exceptional. I loved how she was able to like truly capture different people and their different perspectives and give them each their own like voice, because that, I don't know, I feel like when you have so many different people within a story that sometimes their voices tend to just like sound the same, they tend to just be the same person. You know, it's really hard to differentiate all the different people, and she did an excellent job with that. And then the person who read it, and I can't think of who it was, I'll write their name here. The person who read it did a phenomenal job of making sure that each voice was unique. I actually questioned a few times if she was doing all the voices, if there was somebody else who was helping her. And when like Sally sobbed something, like she sobbed it. And when Frank was angry, you could hear the anger in her voice when she was reading this. Like, she did an excellent job at this. And I think that's what even made this book more powerful for me, was because it sounded like I had a little girl telling me the story. It sounded like I had a mom who was devastated standing right next to me or in my car telling me the story. Like, she did such an amazing job with the characters that I was just truly like engrossed in the story. I actually, one day when I came home, I kind of just went to my room after supper and laid on the bed and just listened from like 7 o'clock, and then when my boyfriend came in, I grabbed my headphones and I continued listening into the night. It was that good that I needed to know more. And I think a book that can keep you up at night and a week later you're still thinking about is truly powerful. Like, I read some other great books this year, but some of them I can't even tell you. And I think this one is going to stay with me for a really long time. It makes me really want to look up some other books by T. Greenwood. I don't know if all of her books are like fictional retellings of real crimes, so I am curious. But if you're looking for an adult book, because this is not one that I would put on my classroom shelves, because, you know, there's some heavy content in it. And she does a beautiful job at letting you know what is going on without getting too graphic. Like, and she writes this so well that she doesn't even need to get graphic with the details for you to know what is going on. It's so awful. Like, actually just like talking about it is making me tear up. How powerful is that? I mean, it's been over a week, and just talking about some of those scenes in the book make me cry. Again, this book has heavy content, so if you don't do well with that, then this probably isn't the right book for you. But for me, like I did say at one point to my boyfriend, I was like, I don't know if I can keep listening to this. I don't know if I can listen to this as a mother, as a teacher. By far, the best book that I have read since starting my BookTube channel, and I think all of 2018. If you like adult novels, check this one out. If you like real crime retellings, check this out. If you're just looking for an amazing audiobook, check this out. It was amazing. I don't even have the words to describe. I mean, I'm tearing up now. Let me know, have you listened to other like real crime retellings that you have just loved? Let me know. I'm curious. I don't typically read real crime books, but maybe I'm finding a genre that I really enjoy and I didn't know about. So it's always neat to learn more about yourself as a reader. But let me know below, have you ever read this? Have you ever heard of this book? Do you have any intention on reading it? Leave me a comment below and let me know some of your thoughts on this book, on this genre, on this author. I'd love to hear more. If you've read any other book by her and you think that I would enjoy it, please let me know. Or if there's another author that you think I would enjoy based on this, let me know. I'd love to have a dialogue with you about this. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. You can hit the little bell on the side and you can get notified every time I post a video. But thank you so much for watching, and keep reading!